good, YouTube? It's your host, S.H.I.N.O, and you are now watching MVP Magazine. And you know the drill, whether you're new here or not, be an Argonaut and like and subscribe. Let's rock. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for about 3 months, and right now it's the gaming equivalent of Marmite because you either love it or hate it. But 3 months ago, it was a totally different story. The whole gaming industry and community were both hyped. So what happened?
Damn!
Nintendo got greedy. That's what happened. Now, we already know that despite the online backlash, Nintendo had one of the most successful console launches in history. And if we just take a look at Nintendo's current stocks, that is not looking good at all. Maybe I should have fact-checked that before I started the video. Now, we already know the Nintendo Switch 2 had a very strong start. Right out the gate, it was a really strong seller. That being said, it definitely does not have the momentum of the original Nintendo Switch. And all of this bad news that surrounded the console definitely isn't helping. Now, almost no gaming company on the map is innocent, and for the last couple of years, most of them have been trying to get all up in our wallets to try and see what they can see. But lately, Nintendo have shown us all that they have the biggest Cooper crack debt possible and have been trying to outdo everyone when it comes to corporate greed.
I like money.
$50 American for Kirby Amiibo is insane, and it just shows how much hubris Nintendo has towards its American fan base.
I like money.
Since when are the tariffs affecting action figures? That is insane. But Nintendo know they can get away with this because their die-hard fans will run to the store and buy it anyway. Now, we know the hardcore Nintendo fans are going to support day one. We know the Mushroom Kingdom Mafia are going to buy anything Nintendo throws at them. But the casual fans are supporting the Switch 2 at a much slower pace. So, let's just keep it a buck. When it comes to launch hype and launch games, the Nintendo Switch 2 is definitely not living up to the original. Now, if we just compare the first 7 months of the Switch 2 to the original Switch, we will see that there is no comparison. We will also see that Nintendo was a lot more consumer friendly, but anyway, the extra oomph the original Nintendo Switch had in its launch software and what followed in the following months is definitely what made the casuals take notice. Games like ARMS, games like Breath of the Wild, games like Mario Kart Deluxe, games like, Super Mario Odyssey, Street Fighter, the Ultra Challengers. The launch lineup was stacked. Even if you wanted to import games, they had a Monster Hunter game, XX, right there for you. The Switch 1 had everything at a great price, but the Switch 2...
The sweet smell of an all-day sucker.
Now, this online backlash must be having some effect on sales because it has reached the financial world, with analysts actually advising against buying Nintendo stock. Now, a notable Japanese tech analyst has recently taken back all her bets on Nintendo being successful, and based on the current performance of the Switch 2 and the announcements surrounding it, she has reduced her recommendation from favorable to neutral.
Damn!
The analyst also reviewed 10 tech firms which are the best to put your money into, and Nintendo wasn't one of them, and even goes on to state that even though the original Nintendo Switch was one of the highest selling consoles of all time that doesn't reckon that the Switch 2 will get there because of its 50% price increase. Now, this is really interesting because you've heard it repeated in numerous videos that lately Nintendo has definitely been a more affordable console, with the Wii U being relatively affordable, the Nintendo Switch being affordable. When the 3DS cost way too much, they slashed the price and that became more affordable. So to see that Nintendo's price on their console is the barrier is actually really interesting. Now, personally, I have a lot of respect for Nintendine because unlike a lot of these Nintendo influencers, he's pretty much stuck to his principles and not went out and bought all of this stuff that he made videos about. So we have tons of YouTubers and Nintendo influencers who make videos complaining about the high prices of these games, and then they go out and buy them and do unboxing videos and look really happy. It makes no sense. But at the moment, it may seem like Nintendine is the voice of a ton of people who really don't want to buy the Switch 2. Now, we've all seen this before. When a Nintendo console is popular, when it's successful, it is mass hysteria. It's sold out. Everybody wants it. It's the hottest, newest thing. And the Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't have that energy. Don't get me wrong, it was definitely hot for that first 2 weeks to a month. But then after that, all the negative news like the game key cards, the expensive prices, the weird amiibos, the throttling Mario Kart Online, all of that stuff kind of drowned out the hype. And now it's just people waiting for the hype to be started back up again. In fact, when the September Direct was announced, that's when everybody thought that, okay, cool, Nintendo are going to drop a bomb and we're going to have these great games and a real reason to be excited about this console. But when all they delivered was an expensive emulation of Super Mario Odyssey, some lackluster looking Yoshi game, and a Virtual Boy re-release, I'm not so sure that that's what people wanted. I'm not so sure if that's gonna be what's gonna get casuals to go out and run these console numbers up. Now, Fire Emblem definitely looked cool, but as I said before, that is something for die-hard Nintendo fans. I definitely don't think that's something that the average person is gonna look at and be like, okay, cool, I gotta go grab a Switch now. Fire Emblem's out. A lot of people were looking for that new 3D Mario or that new Star Fox or whatever, that new big Zelda game to really sell this console and to really wash that negative Nintendo taste out of your mouth. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think all of this negative Nintendo news has finally slowed down the Nintendo Switch hype? If you haven't got a Switch 2 yourself, are you looking to get one, or are you still waiting to see if they've got anything you want? But anyway, if you're new here, like and subscribe, and holla at your boy. Sayonara.